Most scalping strategies fail because day traders ignore this one key concept. In fact, this key trading concept kept me losing for 3 years straight trading crypto futures. In this video, I'll show you what finally changed for me when I trade coins like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, and more, and a free TradingView indicator I use to spot moves before they happen. If you don't understand this concept, market makers, trust me, are going to keep taking your money. But this 5-minute scalping strategy I'm going to reveal is going to help you stay on the right side of the trade. Let's get into it. Let's dive in, guys. That led to some of these trades. I believe my students are actually doing better than me in the Discords. B, about 2 weeks ago, he had a 663% on Bitcoin. Crazy. I don't even know if I've ever gotten that high, maybe 500, but damn. We are learning lots in the Discord, right? I am not a farming group. I am here to help you learn, help you teach. I don't believe in signals, okay? You guys all know the drill. But we are going to cover the most important concept in trading today, okay? Why is this the most important? Because a lot of people, especially beginner traders, don't know about it, don't realize about it, and the market makers are after it every market open. This could be Asia, this could be London, this could be New York. And it really sets the tone for that entire session, okay? So Asia session, right? You're going to have more accumulation, maybe more ranging motion. New York, you're definitely a lot of the time going to be more trendy, and same with London's. So those are the three key sessions we need to pay attention to. Now, you can trade throughout the day, right? Once you find a trend direction, usually the trend is your friend. It's best to go with the trend. But I'm going to show you the key concept that led to some of these profits that we continuously cover that I believe a lot of people are missing out on, okay? And I don't want you guys to be tricked out or stopped out during market open sessions because once again, this was Bitcoin just today. We're hitting 2.272 now. Had you seen what was coming here and here, and you got in here, this is when we were live trading this morning in the Discord group. What time was this at? 10 a.m.? So we had to wait quite a while. No fair value gaps through here on Bitcoin. No fair value gaps here on Bitcoin. We had fair value gaps through here, but this was a strong pump up on the 5-minute, which led to this down pull. We sweat liquidity. We sweat buy-side liquidity here and then just tumble down, okay? Key concepts I'm going to cover here. Pay attention to. It's one key concept I want you to pay attention to during market open. This doesn't just have to be for market open because even if you hop on, let's say later in the day, maybe, I don't know, what is it, 11 a.m. now? We're still going down, right? We're still following this trend. Trend is your friend, right? But you can backtrack to that 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 a.m. Central for me, and see exactly what happened here on your charts, okay? So this is actually called buy-side and sell-side liquidity. So I am going to pull up some graphs here to show you exactly what it is, where it makes sense. So here we saw this exactly this morning here at what? 1/6, so January 6th. You're going to see a sweep to buy-side liquidity. We also had sell-side liquidity down here. We are sweeping London's midpoint, low point area. It wasn't the exact low point, but it was in the midpoint here. And we had sell-side liquidity down here. So we had double trickery this morning. I don't think I've seen that in quite a while. The key was here, both of the liquidity sweeps. So here's, right, previous day, New York's high. This wasn't exactly it this morning, but I'm going to show you the exact wicks we saw, the exact wicks to the downside we saw, and one last sweep before getting this pull downward. And you'll notice this also goes along with market structure, right? We made a double top here, some other patterns going on. We made some, lower highs, lower lows going on across the board. So these are all the things you want to pay attention to, mainly these liquidity sweeps during market opens. And what does a liquidity sweep look like? If you move to the 5-minute time frame, okay, usually I am following Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin is typically the leader with all these altcoins off to the right side here. Pick one altcoin to trade. They're usually going to have lower fees than Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's pretty high priced, 90,000, while the altcoins tend to be in the dollar range. But you can follow Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin's doing. I'll show you a couple indicators here to help you out. But you'll see we got some nice 5-minute wicks right here. right at 8:55 a.m. We did have PMI this morning, so that is a news event to be aware of. I thought we were going to get some more volatility. So we swept kind of this London low point here. And then we came back up. This is exactly what we just saw in that graphic. And we swept buy side liquidity right at London's high. Okay. Almost right, creating that kind of double top scenario. So you want to be very aware of this. We had double trickery this morning at 8:55 a.m. to about 9:30 a.m. We never once, right? I'm all about the fair value gaps. Some people hate me for it. You can be about order blocks, fair value gaps, ICT concepts, SMC concepts, whatever you want to be about. A lot of people, they're going to be around this range. Fibonacci levels, right? Same thing here as I've got my fib drawn. But a lot of people are going to be placing around the same age for their entry and take profit levels, okay? So that is something you want to be aware of. Now, if we pull up the indicator trading sessions here, just on TradingView, under technicals, I believe it's free. So I haven't adjusted any settings on this, but you'll see here, we have London here starting, here's London's high, here at around 7:45 a.m. Central, right? So we're actually sweeping the average price here at London session, which is what this dotted line is. So this is actually London's opens here and London's close here, okay? So this is the dotted line for London's open. This is the dotted line for London's close session. And this is just the average price that Bitcoin swept, okay? Why is this a liquidity sweep once again? Because of these wicks here, okay? This green box is now New York session, okay? New York session, right? We almost came up, not perfectly, touched London's high. So once again, another wick here on the 5-minute and just came back down. No bearish fair value gaps through here. No bullish 5-minute fair value gaps through here, which is what I'm usually looking for. And then bam, here's our bearish fair value gap for entry. Or you could simply look for order block or support and resistance zone, right? We got nice resistance zone here that lines up with our fair value gap as well. Whatever you want to look for, right? A lot of people are going to have the same kind of basic and entry level, whatever you are looking for there. And then we just came right back into this overall short play. Okay. So important lesson here. We are looking for buy side and sell side liquidity. Now I am going to rewind to actually Monday, yesterday, and we saw pretty much the exact same thing. Now we did have to wait, right? I'm usually waiting for these fair value gaps. Did we have some bullish fair value gaps here? This is Lux Algo fair value gap indicator right here. We did have some bullish fair value gaps here, okay? I'm not going to go ahead and play it forward for you guys, but we had some bullish fair value gaps here, right? They're just not pretty because we're moving so far down, and these are just fair value gap, right? Just 3 candlesticks, wick to wick. You're putting a gap in between those where an imbalance in price occurred, okay? So we came back through, didn't really hold this fair value gap that well, right? We cut through that midpoint, indicating maybe we could go down further. So we came higher back up, did our liquidity sweep, took quite a while at 9:30 a.m. Central, came back down, finally got our bearish fair value gap, and here's our entry at 10 a.m. Central. So sometimes it does take a minute in the morning, right? You may be ready to trade right at that 9:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. time. However, sometimes you got to wait an hour and a half. That is trading. So we want to wait for these fair value gaps to appear before taking our entry. That's what I am waiting for. And usually, typically, this is what I tell the class, right? We want to wait for Bitcoin. Sol got one, okay? Sol got a bearish fair value gap, a tiny one, all the way back here, okay? Did this one work out with our fib level? I go over this strategy pretty regularly on my channel. So as you can see, we got a bearish fair value gap here, right? We came all the way down to our 1.272 level. So if I just draw my fib from, had we been here, right? Saw the bearish fair value gap, came back up, right? Whipped through our 0.5 level for our entry. Usually I'm entering at 0.618. Whipped through our 1.272 take profit level. And then we shot back up again to 0.17, okay? And this is where on Sol, right, we created a double top. So this indicates, what does this indicate? We could possibly get some downward movement, okay? So another reason why we got this pump up this morning, right? We also had a bullish divergence. If you don't understand divergences or the RSI, please check out my RSI video down below. But you'll see here, we got a bullish divergence, and here's that buy side liquidity pump up we got before coming back down into that overall short. So once again, let's look at Monday from yesterday. All right. So Monday, we'll pull up trading sessions again. And you're saying this, it's hindsight 2020. I don't care. Come in the Discord group. Come see me live trade. That's where I'll be at. I get that comment all the time. I am there. I'm just showing and recapping what we are doing in the group and what we are learning about. So here, what do we see again? Here is London's low, right? Here's our low. What do we see? Another 5-minute wick on Bitcoin. We completely blew past London's high here, okay? London's kind of high level before we hit New York's open. So we didn't do really a sweep. We didn't get a strong wick, I would say, anywhere like we did today, but we did get a strong wick down here. Look how big this wick is. And then we just came up, made some higher highs over this high. Market structure, right? Price action. So we have general market structure here, right? Higher lows, go with the trend, right? The trend is your friend again. Higher lows, higher highs going on, right? On the 5-minute, higher low, higher high. So we got this kind of general overall market structure going on the 5-minute. We swept, right? This area once again, close to that London's open mark, right? Not the average price point, which was this line here for London, but actually London's open mark, even closer to London's kind of bottom mark here. So we swept the low, got our higher high, and we continued on up with those longs. Now, how would you take this trade? Once again, do we get a bullish fair value gap here? So we finally got our bullish fair value gap. If you want to wait and be patient, that is perfectly fine. So we actually whipped through a couple of bullish fair value gaps back here. Okay. See this candle between these three. This is a bullish fair value gap, tiny one right there. Went right past it, doing our liquidity sweep. This one happened right at 8:40 a.m. Granted, we didn't have really big news that day like PMI. Okay. So we did our liquidity sweep. We got the wick at the kind of low of this trend here. And then we just pumped up. So our next bullish fair value gap from yesterday, after we got this liquidity sweep to the downside around London's open price in London's kind of low area, we made our bullish fair value gap. This is a good signal for a possible entry for a long. We're making our higher highs, higher lows here. We have our bullish fair value gap. Now, how do you draw your fib with this? Pretty simple, right? Just on the 5-minute here, if you want to keep it easy. Okay. Swing high to swing low. And like I said, usually I'm looking for entry around 0.618. Yes, this is the backwards way to draw the fib. Okay, I understand. I just like to see my take profit levels. All right, so we're entering, right? If we were playing with Bitcoin here, around 93,000. And our previous day high, this white line up here, is sitting right at 1.272. So this could be a perfect take profit level. We actually didn't come past that level, taper downward, came back up, tried again, failed, and now we're in the next day. Okay, so these are scalping strategies, right? We're looking to be in and out of these trades within 10 minutes to 1 hour, I would say. So this one, waiting for that fair value gap around 11:30 a.m. to 1:30, so a couple hours on that one. A little bit slower yesterday, but that is a-okay. Now, if you felt like it and you saw the liquidity sweep and just wanted to straight enter on the 1-minute time frame, you're feeling gutsy, you're feeling risky, sure, that is up to you, but usually I'm waiting for those fair value gaps to form, right? Order blocks, support and resistance level, which funny enough, right? Here's our kind of support level once again here, which it whipped down into, perfectly aligned with this area here. Okay? Even made a double bottom, which is even better. So we got our double bottom, right? Double bottom on Bitcoin and just shot up to our 1.272. So entry, if you want to draw the fib really quickly, the correct way, just do this backwards, okay? It's going to be about the same. 0.5 is going to be about the same, right? The only thing that's flipping is your 0.382 and your 0.618 mark, okay? So these two are just basically switched, okay? So that's why I just draw it backwards so I can see my take profit levels, set my limit orders, call it a day. So limit orders for our take profit, depending on where you think price is going to go, 1.272 and at 0.618 for our entry, out at 1.272. Now, what's great about New York? Sometimes, a lot of the times you can write it till about 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Central, all the way to market close even. Okay, so that is what is great about New York. You could have rid this down. Oh my gosh, we did hit previous day low today. I wasn't sure if we were going to because we started closer to previous day high, this white line up here. But we hit previous day low today, all the way down here. Sol is probably really down there as well. I got out at previous day high like an idiot. So that's where I entered and got out. I could have made a lot more money. That's all right. Yeah, I got out around this 1.618 area. We cruised right past 2.272. Like I said, New York, you can ride down all day. I entered this, around 10 a.m.? 2 hours later, we're still moving down. Okay, guys? So this was 9:45 a.m. So if you're feeling gutsy, you want to ride New York all day. If you get anxious and nervous, guys, about how the candlesticks are moving and stuff like that, my suggestion is cover your P&L up on your screen. Use a piece of tape, whatever it may be. There might be a hidden button. I can't remember. I haven't done it in forever, but that's what I used to do. Okay, you don't want to be focusing on your P&L. You want to focus on your strategies, rules, and your risk-reward ratio. So this would have been a clean had I kept it like an idiot. So short, where stop loss goes. If you follow my channel, I'm always putting my stop loss above the 5-minute fair value gap candle. So for this trade today, be just above this candle wick here, and makes sense. We're above the 0.17 line. Let's see, where are we at? 5 risk reward ratio. Just holding this down to Bitcoin's previous day low. So might get a bounce here, right? At Bitcoin's previous day low. Might be some buy orders down there. But this is why we're watching Bitcoin and Sol at the same time when we're trading live on the Discord. So you want to be wary of both. Bitcoin's usually going to be the leader, right? This would have been a nice 5 risk reward ratio for me today. Had I even set it just above the fair value gap, get risky. Some people just set it above the fair value gap, not even above the candlestick. And could have been a nice 7 risk reward ratio, meaning you put in $100 on the trade. If you lose $100, if you win $700 down here. If you don't have, right, the guts to hold and you want to just get out at 1.272, still a nice 2 risk reward ratio, which is what we're typically looking for. Okay. So meaning you put in $100, you win $200. Okay. So that is it for this video. Please, once again, look at liquidity sweeps. Sometimes you'll get doubles like we did today on Bitcoin. We swept sell side liquidity first, then we swept buy side. Look where London's open/average price point is. Usually I'm waiting for these to play out. Wait for them to play out. See what the market's doing, because the market makers, the big guys in the industry, are looking to wipe you out at market open. You don't have to trade here, guys. You don't have to trade here. You can wait, okay? Wait, take your time, take 1 to 3 trades per session, or even if you see a trend start to form, right? We got our lower highs going, our lower lows going. Look for those short entries, okay? Same, we got our double top here, okay? Classic move where you're going to get that down pull, and we created the bearish fair value gap, all right? So if you're interested in seeing this strategy more in depth, please check out the video below. Also, do have a free newsletter where I cover tips and tricks you can check out below, a couple of recommendations for platforms, and the free Discord group as well if you would like to join. We cover a lot of different things. I believe Skunks teaches meme coins. If you're interested in that, hop in. We got an alpha bot running. And we're seeing wins on meme coins and on perps. So feel free to join. There's B bragging. So welcome to the meme coin trading and perps Discord group. feel free to join. We are in there. I live trade morning, night, unless I have sports or something, some family activity going on at night. So be wary of that, right? I do have a family. I do have kids. Other than that, check out my videos below. Let me know what you think is the top trading concept you learned in 2025. I'd love to hear it down below, and I'll talk to you soon.